most people watching this video will quit on themselves within the next 6 months. Not because they are weak, not because they are stupid, but because they have been programmed to choose comfort over greatness. Every single day they wake up with dreams in their mind, but fear in their heart. They say they want success. They say they want success. They say they want freedom. They say they want a better life. But when it is time to suffer for that dream, they disappear. And maybe that person has been you. Maybe you are tired of starting over, tired of feeling stuck, tired of watching other people win while you keep fighting battles nobody sees. You smile in public, but deep inside, you feel pressure. Pressure to become more. Pressure to prove yourself. Pressure to escape the life you know you were not born to live forever. And the scary part is this: you are slowly running out of time. Every day you delay your greatness, your excuses become stronger. Every day you choose comfort, your potential becomes weaker. Every day you doubt yourself, another opportunity disappears. But listen carefully. There is a reason you clicked on this video, because deep down, a part of you is still fighting. A part of you still believes you were made for something bigger. A part of you is tired of being average. A part of you is ready to break every limitation that has been controlling your life. And today, that version of you needs to wake up, because nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you success. Nobody's going to hand you success. Nobody's going to carry your dream for you. Nobody's going to fight your battles while you sit back and wait. This is your life, your future, your responsibility. And if you keep waiting for motivation, waiting for perfect timing, waiting until you feel ready, you will waste years of your life watching your potential slowly die. Understand something powerful right now. The difference between winners and losers is not talent. It is not luck. It is not background. It is mindset. Winners decide that pain will not stop them. Failure will not break them. Fear will not control them. They become obsessed with growth, obsessed with discipline, obsessed with becoming stronger every single day. And that is exactly what this video is about. This is not just motivation. This is a wake-up call, because the person you are right now cannot reach the next level. You move, stay evolved. You must sacrifice. You must become mentally stronger than your excuses. Over the next few minutes, you are going to hear truths that most people avoid their entire lives. Truths about discipline, pain, consistency, excuses, mindset. The same truths that separate champions from average people. And if you truly listen, not just with your ears, but with your mind, this video can change the direction of your life. So forget the distractions, forget your doubts, forget who you used to be. Because by the end of this video, you will either continue living the same life, or you will make the decision to become unstoppable. Most people spend their lives waiting to feel ready. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect timing, the perfect energy, the perfect opportunity. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it when I feel motivated, or I just need the right mindset first. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel inspired, excited, and ready to conquer the world. Other days you feel tired, distracted, discouraged, and empty. If your success depends only on motivation, then your progress will always be inconsistent. That is why Zipline beats motivation every single time. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is the ability to move forward without needing emotions to push you. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is commitment. Motivation comes and goes like the weather, but discipline stays. And the people who become successful in life are not the people who were motivated all the time. They are the people who learn how to stay disciplined even during the hardest moments of their lives. Think about it. Anybody can work hard when they feel excited. Anybody can wake up early for a few days after watching a motivational video. Anybody can chase a dream when things are going well. But what happens when life gets difficult? What happens when the results are slow? What happens when nobody supports you? What happens when you fail again and again? That is where discipline separates the winners from everyone else. Discipline is waking up early when your bed feels more comfortable than your goals. Discipline is studying when your friends are wasting time. Discipline is going to the gym when your body feels tired. Discipline is staying focused when distractions are everywhere. Discipline is continuing to work even when nobody is clapping for you yet. It is not always exciting. In fact, most of the time, discipline feels boring. But boring consistency creates extraordinary results. A lot of people destroy their future because they only act based on feelings. If they feel motivated, they work. If they don't feel motivated, they quit. But feelings change every day. Some mornings you wake up confident and other mornings you wake up full of doubt. If you let emotions control your actions, then your life will always stay unstable. Discipline teaches you to take action no matter how you feel. And once you master that skill, your entire life changes. Look at athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, and champions in any field. They didn't become great because they were motivated every day. They became great because they trained themselves to keep going when motivation disappeared. Behind every successful person is a routine they follow consistently. There were days they wanted to quit, days they were exhausted, days they questioned themselves. But discipline carried them through the moments where motivation failed. The dangerous thing about motivation is that it gives people temporary excitement without long-term change. People watch one inspiring video and suddenly feel unstoppable for a day. They make huge plans, write down big goals, and promise themselves that everything will change. But after a few days, the excitement fades. Reality hits. The work becomes difficult. The energy disappears. And because they never built discipline, they stop. Discipline is different. Discipline builds habits, and habits build success. Success is not built in one big moment. It is built in small decisions repeated every single day. Every time you choose to stay focused instead of getting distracted, you become stronger. Every time you push through discomfort, you build mental toughness. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you build self-respect. Discipline is not just about achieving goals. It is about becoming the type of person who can handle greatness. One of the biggest lies people believe is that successful people are somehow special. They think successful people are naturally more confident, more talented, or more motivated. But often the difference is simply discipline. Ordinary people wait until they feel good to take action. Disciplined people take action first, and then confidence grows afterward. You cannot trust motivation because motivation depends on emotions. Discipline depends on emotions. Discipline depends on standards. When you have standards for your life, you stop making excuses. You stop saying, I'll do it later. You stop letting temporary comfort destroy your long-term future. You begin to understand that every small action matters. Imagine two people with the same dream. One person only works when they feel inspired. The other person works every day no matter what. After 1 month, the difference may not seem huge. But after 1 year, the disciplined person is miles ahead. After 5 years, the gap becomes massive. That is the power of consistency. Discipline also builds confidence. People think confidence comes before action, but real confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say you're going to do something and actually do it, your self-belief grows stronger. You begin to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you become dangerous in the best possible way because you stop depending on outside validation. The truth is, your future is created by what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally feel. One workout will not change your body. One study session will not change your future. One productive day will not transform your life. But repeated discipline over time changes everything. There will be days when your mind tells you to stop. Days when excuses sound reasonable. Days when comfort feels more attractive than growth. Those are the moments where discipline matters most. Because every time you choose discipline over excuses, you train your mind to become stronger. And understand this clearly. Discipline is a form of self-love. A lot of people think discipline is punishment, but it's actually protection. Discipline protects your dreams from your emotions. It protects your future from temporary weakness. It protects your potential from being wasted. Without discipline, talent means nothing. There are talented people everywhere who never became successful because they lack consistency. And there are people with average talent who achieve greatness because they refuse to quit. Hard work done consistently will always outperform talent without discipline. The hardest part about discipline is the beginning. At first, your mind resists it. your body right. Exists it. You want quick rewards. You want comfort. But once discipline becomes part of your identity, life changes. You stop arguing with yourself. You stop depending on motivation. You just do the work because that is who you are. And eventually, the things that once felt impossible become normal. Waking up early becomes normal. Staying focused becomes normal. Working hard becomes normal. Growth becomes normal. That is when you become unstoppable. Not because life became easy, not because you always feel motivated, but because you trained yourself to keep moving forward no matter what. At the end of the day, motivation can start the journey, but only discipline can finish it. Pain is something every human being tries to avoid. Nobody wakes up hoping to struggle, fail, suffer, or feel uncomfortable. People naturally run toward comfort because comfort feels safe. But the truth that many people refuse to accept is this: growth lies in pain. Every great achievement, every powerful transformation, and every success story is connected to struggle. That is why pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. Most people quit because they think pain means they are on the wrong path. The moment life becomes difficult, they assume they should stop. But difficulty is not a sign to quit. Difficulty is proof that you are being tested. Every dream comes with pressure. Every goal demands sacrifice. Every level of success requires discomfort. And the people who win in life are not the people who avoid pain. They are the people who learn how to push through it. Pain is temporary because every difficult moment eventually passes. The hard workout ends. The sleepless nights end. The failures end. The rejection ends. The struggle does not last forever. But quitting creates a permanent wound inside a person. Years later, people often forget how hard the journey was, but they never forget the regret of giving up on themselves. Think about how many people live with silent regret, not because they failed, but because they stopped trying. Deep inside, they know they could have become more. They know they had dreams, talents, and potential, but they allowed temporary pain to convince them to quit. And nothing hurts more than wondering what your life could have been if you had just kept going. Pain is part of every process. If you want a stronger body, you must go through physical. Ice cream pain. If you want knowledge, you must go through mental pain. If you want emotional growth, you must go through heartbreak, disappointment, and lessons. There is no shortcut around struggle. The price of greatness is discomfort. The problem is that society teaches people to chase comfort instead of strength. People want quick success, instant results, and easy victories. They want the reward without the sacrifice. But real success does not work that way. Real success demands patience. It demands resilience. It demands resilience. It demands the ability to continue moving even when things feel heavy. When you are chasing something meaningful, pain is unavoidable. There will be mornings when you feel exhausted. There will be nights when you question yourself. There will be moments when it feels like all your hard work is producing no results. Those moments are dangerous because that is where many people give up. They let temporary emotions destroy permanent opportunities. But understand this, every successful person you admire went through pain. Every champion faced moments where quitting looked easier. Every strong person had days where they felt weak. What made them different was not the absence of pain. It was their decision to continue despite the pain. Pain teaches lessons that comfort never can. Comfort makes people soft. Pain makes people aware. Pain forces growth. Pain reveals character. When life gets hard, you discover who you truly are. You discover how strong your mindset is. You discover whether your dreams are real or just temporary wishes. Some of the strongest people in the world were built during their hardest seasons. Not when life was easy, but when life pushed them to their limits. Because pain forces transformation. It breaks old habits. It destroys weakness. It teaches discipline, patience, humility, and resilience. And the truth is, pain often becomes the fuel for greatness. A person who has struggled deeply develops hunger. They develop determination. They stop taking opportunities for granted. Pain can either destroy you or sharpen you depending on how you respond to it. Some people allow pain to make them bitter. Others allow pain to make them bitter. Others allow pain to make them stronger. The most dangerous mindset is believing that avoiding pain will create happiness. Temporary comfort often creates long-term suffering. Avoiding hard work today creates regret tomorrow. Avoiding discipline today creates weakness later. Avoiding responsibility today creates problems in the future. Many people choose easy now without realizing they are choosing harder later. There are two types of pain in life: the pain of growth and the pain of regret. The pain of growth is temporary. It teaches you something. It builds you. It improves your future. But the pain of regret stays in the heart for years. Regret follows people into old age. It whispers to them at night. It reminds them about the chances they never took and the dreams they abandoned. That is why quitting is so dangerous. Quitting becomes a habit. The more you run away from difficult situations, the weaker your mindset becomes. Every time you quit, you teach yourself that pressure is something to escape from instead of overcome. Eventually, you stop trusting yourself. You stop believing in your own ability to endure hard times. But every time you fight through pain, you become mentally stronger. You begin to realize that discomfort cannot destroy you. You start understanding that hard moments are temporary. And once your mind learns how to survive struggle, fear loses power over you. One of the greatest truths about life is that your hardest battles often prepare you for your greatest blessings. The struggle develops the strength needed for the next level. Imagine giving someone massive success without discipline, maturity, or resilience. They would collapse under pressure. Pain prepares you to handle what you pray for. Even failure has purpose. Failure hurts, but failure teaches. Rejection hurts, but rejection redirects. Disappointment hurts, but disappointment builds emotional strength. Every painful experience carries a lesson that can improve your future if you are willing to learn from it instead of running from it. And sometimes pain reveals how badly you truly want something. When everything is easy, anyone can stay committed. But when things get painful, only the truly dedicated continue forward. Pain separates the interested from the committed. It exposes whether your goals are real priorities or just temporary desires. A person who keeps going through pain develops an unbreakable mentality. They stop fearing hard work. They stop panicking during struggles. They stop seeing obstacles as the end of the road. Instead, they begin to see obstacles as part of the journey. That mindset changes everything, because life will always challenge you. There will always be setbacks, criticism, failures, delays, and moments of doubt. You cannot control every situation, but you can control your response. And your response determines your future. When pain enters your life, you have two choices. You can surrender to it, or you can grow through it. You can allow it to stop you, or you can allow it to strengthen you. The strongest people are not people who never suffered. They are people who refuse to let suffering define them. Years from now, you will not remember every difficult moment. You will not remember every exhausting day or every sleepless night, but you will remember whether you gave up on yourself or kept fighting. And one day, if you continue pushing forward, the pain that once felt unbearable will become part of your story. You will look back and realize the struggle made you stronger, wiser, and more powerful than comfort ever could. Because pain fades, struggles end, hard times pass, but quitting leaves scars that last forever. Most people underestimate the power of consistency because they are obsessed with quick results. They want success immediately. They want transformation overnight. They want rewards without repetition. But life does not work that way. Greatness is not created in one big moment. Greatness is built through small actions repeated over and over again. That is why consistency creates greatness. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people is often not talent, intelligence, or luck. The difference is consistency. Average people work hard once in a while. Great people stay committed for years. They understand that real success is not about being perfect every day. It is about showing up every day. Consistency means continuing even when progress feels invisible. It means trusting the process before the results arrive. That is difficult for many people because humans naturally want immediate proof that their efforts matter. When people work hard for a short time and see no results, they become frustrated. They begin doubting themselves. They start questioning whether the effort is worth it. Then they quit too early without realizing that success was slowly being built behind the scenes. Think about how powerful small actions become over time. Reading a few pages every day may not seem life-changing in 1 week, but after 1 year, your knowledge becomes greater than most people around you. Exercising for 1 day changes nothing, but training consistently transforms your entire body and mindset. Saving a small amount of money regularly can eventually create financial stability. Tiny actions repeated consistently create massive outcomes. The problem is that many people chase intensity instead of consistency. They become extremely motivated for a few days. They work nonstop, push themselves too hard, and make huge promises. But because they never develop discipline and routine, they burn out. After the excitement fades, they return to old habits. Real greatness is not about occasional bursts of effort. It is about sustainable commitment. A person who works moderately every single day will eventually outperform someone who only works hard occasionally. Consistency always wins in the long run because life rewards repetition. The people who become masters in their field are not always the most naturally gifted. They are the ones who practiced when others stopped. They stayed committed when others became distracted. They continued improving while others looked for shortcuts. There is something powerful about becoming dependable to yourself. Every time you consistently keep your promises, your confidence grows stronger. You stop seeing yourself as someone who quits easily. You begin building trust within yourself. And self-trust changes everything because once you trust yourself, excuses lose their power. Consistency also builds momentum. At first, progress feels slow and painful. The beginning of every journey is difficult because results are small. Many people quit during this stage because they expect instant success. But consistency compounds over time. Small improvements begin stacking on top of each other. Eventually, what once felt impossible becomes natural. The gym is a perfect example. A person who works out for 1 week sees almost no visible change. But someone who trains consistently for years develops incredible strength and transformation. The same principle applies to every area of life. Skills improve through repetition. Confidence improves through repetition. Success grows through repetition. The world often celebrates big moments, but ignores the daily effort behind them. People admire champions, entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders without realizing how much consistency was required to reach that level. Behind every successful person are thousands of unseen hours, early mornings, late nights, sacrifices, repetition, failure, learning, improvement. Greatness is built quietly long before the world notices it. One of the hardest parts about consistency is remaining committed when nobody is watching. It is easy to work hard when people are praising you. It is easy to stay focused when results are coming quickly. But true character is revealed when there is no applause, no recognition, and no guarantee of success. Consistency during silent seasons is what creates greatness later. Most people quit because they become emotionally attached to results. If results come quickly, they stay motivated. If results are delayed, they lose hope. But consistent people understand something important. Results are often delayed, but rewards always come to those who persist long enough. Trees do not grow overnight. Muscles do not grow overnight. Empires are not built overnight. Everything meaningful takes time. Consistency also teaches patience. In a world addicted to instant gratification, patience has become rare. People want everything immediately, but real growth requires time. Consistency trains you to focus on the process instead of constantly worrying about outcomes. You begin understanding that success is not one giant leap. It is thousands of small steps taken without stopping. There will be days when consistency feels boring. There will be days when you feel unmotivated. Days when you feel tired. Days when it seems like your effort is pointless. Those are the most important days. Because greatness is not created on the easy days. Greatness is created on the difficult days when you continue anyway. Anybody can work hard once. Very few people can stay committed for years. That is why consistency is rare. Staying focused long-term requires mental strength. It requires emotional control. It requires vision. You must believe in your future strongly enough to continue working even when current results disappoint you. Consistency also creates identity. The more consistently you repeat an action, the more it becomes part of who you are. A person who writes daily becomes a writer. A person who trains daily becomes disciplined. A person who studies daily becomes knowledgeable. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your future. Many people wait for perfect conditions before taking action. They wait for the perfect mood, perfect timing, or perfect opportunity. But consistency teaches you that progress matters more than perfection. You do not need to perform perfectly every day. You simply need to continue. Even small progress is powerful when repeated over time. Life itself is proof of consistency. Water can slowly shape stone through repeated pressure. The sun rises every single day without fail. Nature grows steadily and patiently. Greatness follows the same principle. Slow, repeated effort creates powerful transformation. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, but stop too soon. They give up during the boring middle stage where success is still invisible. But the people who eventually succeed are often the ones who simply refuse to stop. Consistency turns weakness into strength. It turns beginners into experts. It turns dreams into reality. The key is understanding that every single day matters. Every choice matters. Every action either moves you closer to greatness or further away from it. And once you truly understand the power of consistency, your mindset changes. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop depending on motivation. You stop chasing overnight success. Instead, you commit to daily improvement. You focus on becoming better little by little, because little by little eventually becomes everything. A single drop of water may seem weak, but continuous drops can carve through rock. One small action may feel insignificant today, but repeated consistently, it can completely transform your future. Years from now, people may look at your success and think it happened suddenly. They will only see the results. They will not see the results. They will not see the thousands of days you stay committed while others quit. They will not see the sacrifices, the discipline, and the quiet effort behind the scenes. But you will know. You will know that greatness was never built in one moment. It was built every day you chose to continue. Every person has dreams, goals, and potential inside them. Some want success, some want freedom, some want greatness, and some simply want a better life. But there is one thing that silently destroys more dreams than failure ever will. It is not lack of talent. It is not lack of opportunity. It is not even bad luck. The real destroyer of potential is excuses. Excuses are dangerous because they sound convincing. They make people feel comfortable while keeping them stuck at the same time. Excuses give temporary relief but create long-term regret. They protect people from discomfort, responsibility, and fear, but they also protect people from growth, success, and transformation. That is why excuses destroy potential. Every excuse pushes greatness further away. People say things like, I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I'll start tomorrow. I'm waiting for the right opportunity. Nobody supports me. I failed before. I'm not talented enough. At first, these words may seem harmless, but when repeated daily, they slowly become a mindset. And once excuses become part of your mindset, they begin controlling your entire life. The truth is, excuses are often lies people tell themselves to avoid discomfort, because growth is uncomfortable. Hard work is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Facing failure is uncomfortable. So instead of confronting challenges directly, many people create excuses to jade. You justify staying the same, but staying the same has consequences. Every time you choose excuses over action, you move further away from the person you could become. Every time you delay your goals, you waste time you can never get back. Every time you avoid responsibility, you weaken your mindset. Potential means nothing without action. There are millions of talented people in the world who never became successful because excuses stopped them from fully using their abilities. Some people have incredible intelligence but lack discipline. Some people have dreams but lack courage. Some people have opportunities but keep waiting for perfect conditions. Meanwhile, others with less talent achieve greatness simply because they refuse to make excuses. Excuses create a prison inside the mind. They convince people that external circumstances are the reason for their lack of progress. Instead of asking, what can I do better? People begin blaming everything around them. They blame their past, their environment, their lack of resources, their failures, and other people. But blaming changes nothing. The moment you constantly blame outside circumstances, you give away your power. Because if everything is someone else's fault, then you also believe someone else controls your future. Successful people think differently. They focus on what they can control. They understand that while life may not always be fair, excuses will never improve the situation. One of the biggest problems with excuses is that they become habits. The more often you make excuses, the easier it becomes to quit when life gets difficult. Instead of developing resilience, you develop avoidance. Instead of building discipline, you build weakness. Excuses may feel safe today, but they create pain tomorrow. A person who avoids studying today struggles later because of missed opportunities. A person who avoids working hard today regrets wasted potential in the future. A person who avoids improving their health today may suffer later because of unhealthy habits. Every excuse creates delayed consequences. Life rewards responsibility. The moment you stop making excuses, your life begins to change. Because once you take ownership of your actions, you gain control over your future. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop depending on luck. You stop expecting life to hand you success. Instead, why? You begin building it yourself. That mindset is powerful. Strong people understand that excuses do not solve problems. Action solves problems. Complaining does not build success. Discipline builds success. Waiting does not create opportunities. Preparation creates opportunities. Many people say they want greatness, but their habits reveal something different. Your actions always tell the truth. If someone constantly makes excuses, they are prioritizing comfort over growth. Because excuses are often just another way of choosing comfort. And comfort can become dangerous. Comfort keeps people trapped in average lives. It convinces them to settle for less than they are capable of becoming. It whispers things like, take it easy, you can do it later, or you deserve a break, even when goals remain unfinished. Little by little, comfort destroys ambition. The problem is not resting. Rest is necessary. The problem is using excuses to avoid progress altogether. Everybody faces challenges. Everybody experiences fears, setbacks, and difficult seasons. But the people who become successful decide to keep moving despite those obstacles. They refuse to let circumstances become excuses. History is filled with people who succeeded under impossible conditions. People who were rejected. People who were broke. People who failed repeatedly. People who lack resources, people who face criticism and doubt, yet they continued anyway. Why? Because they refused to let excuses control their future. Your current situation does not have to define your destiny, but excuses will absolutely limit it. When you constantly focus on why something cannot happen, you stop searching for ways to make it happen. Excuses also damage self-respect. Deep inside, people know when they are lying to themselves. They know when they are capable of more but continue choosing avoidance. Over time, this creates frustration, insecurity, and regret because humans are not designed to waste their potential. There is pain in growth, but there is also pain in remaining stuck. And the pain of staying stuck is often worse because it lasts longer. One of the most powerful moments in life is when a person becomes completely honest with themselves. No more blaming. No more avoiding responsibility. No more waiting. Just honesty. That honesty creates change because it forces action. Instead of saying, point, I don't have time, disciplined people ask, how can I manage my time better? Instead of saying, I'm too tired, they ask, what habits are draining my energy? Instead of saying, I failed, they ask, what can I learn from this? That shift in mindset changes everything. Excuses focus on problems. Responsibility focuses on solutions. And understand this clearly. You do not need perfect conditions to begin improving your life. You simply need the willingness to start. Progress often begins with imperfect action. Waiting for everything to be perfect is one of the most common excuses people use to delay their dreams forever. The reality is there will never be a perfect time. There will always be fear, uncertainty, distractions, and obstacles. But people who succeed learn how to move forward anyway. Every day you make a choice. You can choose excuses or you can choose growth. You can choose growth. You can choose comfort or you can choose transformation. You can choose fear or you can choose courage. The difference between the life you have and the life you want is often hidden inside the excuses you continue to believe. Imagine how powerful your life could become if you stop limiting yours. Elf with excuses. Imagine the opportunities, confidence, and success waiting on the other side of discipline and responsibility. Because greatness is already inside many people. The tragedy is that excuses prevent them from ever discovering it. Do not let temporary fear destroy permanent potential. Do not let comfort rob you of your future. And do not spend your life explaining why you never became the person you were capable of becoming. Because excuses may comfort you today, but eventually they will cost you everything. Everything in your life begins with your mindset. Before success appears in reality, it first appears in the mind. Before a person changes their life, they must first change the way they think. The way you see yourself, the way you respond to challenges, the way you handle failure, and the way you approach opportunities all come from your mindset. That is why your mindset controls your future. Two people can face the exact same situation and create completely different outcomes because of how they think. One person sees obstacles and gives up. The other sees obstacles and grows stronger. One person sees failure as proof they are not good enough. The other sees failure as a lesson that helps them improve. The difference is not always talent or circumstances. Often the difference is mindset. Your mind is powerful. It can either build your future or destroy it. It can push you toward greatness or trap you in fear. Every day, your thoughts shape your actions and your actions shape your life. That is why protecting your mindset is one of the most important things you can ever do. Most people do not realize how much their thinking controls their behavior. If someone constantly tells themselves, "I'm not capable," they stop trying. If someone believes success is impossible, they stop taking risks. If someone sees themselves as weak, they avoid challenges. Negative thinking creates negative behavior, and negative behavior creates negative results. But the opposite is also true. When a person develops a strong mindset, everything changes. They begin seeing opportunities instead of limitations. They begin believing growth is possible. They stop fearing failure so much because they understand that mistakes are part of learning. A powerful mindset creates resilience, confidence, and determination. Your future is heavily influenced by the story you repeat in your head every single day. If your inner voice constantly speaks fear, doubt, and negativity, eventually your life begins reflecting those thoughts. But if your inner voice becomes disciplined, focused, and positive, your actions begin aligning with success. This does not mean pretending life is perfect. A strong mindset is not about ignoring reality. It is about refusing to let difficult situations control your spirit. Life will always have problems. There will always be setbacks, disappointments, criticism, and hard seasons. But mindset determines whether those moments break you or build you. Many people lose battles before they even begin because they already convinced themselves they cannot win. Fear defeats them mentally long before reality does. They focus on everything that could go wrong instead of believing in what could go right. Over time, fear becomes stronger than ambition. That is why mindset matters so much. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you repeatedly plant grows stronger. If you constantly feed your mind negativity, excuses, laziness, and doubt, those things grow. But if you feed your mind discipline, confidence, learning, positivity, why envision those things begin growing instead? The people around you also influence your mindset. Negative environments create negative thinking. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain, make excuses, and avoid growth, eventually their mindset affects you too. Energy spreads, attitudes spread, habits spread. That is why Successful people are careful about who they allow close to them. A strong mindset also requires self-control. Your mind will not always naturally choose what is best for you. Sometimes your mind wants comfort instead of growth. Sometimes it wants distractions instead of discipline. Sometimes it wants to quit when things become difficult. That is why mental discipline is necessary. You must learn how to control your thoughts instead of allowing your thoughts to control you. One negative thought repeated constantly can destroy confidence. One positive belief repeated consistently can transform a person's entire future. That is how powerful the mind is. Mindset also determines how long you survive difficult seasons. Weak mindsets collapse under pressure. Strong mindsets adapt and continue moving forward. A person with a strong mindset understands that temporary setbacks do not define permanent destiny. They know failure is not the end unless they stop trying. Think about athletes, leaders, entrepreneurs, and champions. Many of them experience rejection, criticism, losses, and painful failures before succeeding. But they refuse to let those moments define them. Their mindset allowed them to continue when others would have quit. The truth is, life becomes harder when your mindset is weak. Small problems feel huge. Criticism feels unbearable. Delays feel hopeless. Fear feels overwhelming. But when your mindset becomes stronger, challenges no longer control you the same way. You begin responding with confidence instead of panic. A powerful mindset creates emotional stability. Instead of breaking down every time something goes wrong, you develop the ability to stay focused during difficult moments. You stop reacting emotionally to every obstacle. You become calmer, wiser, and more disciplined. Mindset also affects your level of effort. People who believe in their future work harder because they see purpose in the struggle. People who believe growth is possible continue learning and improving. But people with defeat mindsets often stop trying because they already expect failure. That is why belief matters. You do not have to know exactly how everything will work out, but you must believe enough in yourself to continue moving forward. Without belief, discipline becomes difficult. Without belief, dreams die early. Without belief, fear takes control. One of the most dangerous things a person can do is constantly speak negativity over their own life. Words have power because words influence thoughts, and thoughts influence actions. If you constantly tell yourself you are weak, unlucky, or incapable, eventually your behavior begins matching those beliefs. But imagine what happens when you begin training your mind differently. Imagine waking up every day focused on growth instead of excuses. Imagine choosing confidence instead of fear. Imagine focusing on possibilities instead of limitations. Over time, your entire life would begin changing because your mindset would begin producing different actions. Your mindset also shapes how you view time. People with weak mindsets often look for shortcuts and instant success. They become impatient when results take time, but strong mindsets understand that greatness is built slowly. They stay patient, disciplined, and focused even when progress feels invisible. Another important truth is that mindset can be trained. Nobody is born mentally strong. Mental strength is developed through repeated challenges, discipline, learning, and experience. Every difficult situation gives you the opportunity to strengthen your mind if you choose growth instead of surrender. The greatest transformations often begin internally long before they appear externally. A person changes their thinking first, and eventually their actions, habits, confidence, and life begin changing too. Your future is not controlled only by your circumstances. It is controlled by how you respond to those circumstances. Two people can experience the same pain, yet one becomes stronger while the other becomes bitter. The difference is mindset. And understand this clearly. Your mindset will either become your greatest weapon or your greatest limitation. If you believe growth is possible, you continue improving. If you believe discipline matters, you stay committed. If you believe setbacks are temporary, you keep fighting. If you believe in your purpose, you endure different. Fickle seasons, everything starts in the mind first. The life you build tomorrow depends heavily on the mindset you develop today. Because once your mind becomes stronger than fear, stronger than excuses, and stronger than doubt, your future begins to change. Before you leave this video, understand one thing clearly. There is another version of you waiting on the other side of discipline, pain, consistency, responsibility, and mindset. a stronger version, a wiser version, a more powerful version. But that version of you will never appear if you continue choosing comfort over growth. Life is not going to slow down and wait for you to become ready. Time keeps moving. Every single day, you are either building your future or destroying it with excuses. Every habit matters. Every decision matters. Every hour matters. And the truth is, most people will never become who they were meant to be because they quit too early. They stop when life gets difficult. They stop when results take time. They stop when nobody believes in them. But you cannot let that be your story. You have survived too much to stay average. Think about everything you have already been through. The pain, the structure, glares, the disappointments, the silent battles nobody knows about. And despite all of it, you are still here. That means there is something powerful inside you, something unbreakable, something that refuses to give up completely. Do not ignore that fire. The world does not need another person full of excuses, fear, and wasted potential. The world needs people who are willing to rise when life gets hard. People who are willing to stay disciplined when others become distracted. People who are willing to keep going when everyone else quits. That is what separates ordinary from extraordinary. And listen carefully, you do not need to become perfect overnight. You do not need to have everything figured out today. You just need to make a decision, a real decision, that you are done doubting yourself, done settling for less, and done running away from your potential. Because your future is watching you right now. The life you dream about is not going to appear by accident. You must build it day by day, habit by habit, decision by decision. There will still be hard days. There will still be hard days. There will still be moments where you feel tired, frustrated, and tested. But those moments are not there to destroy you. They are there to reveal who you truly are. And when life tests you again, stand tall, stay focused, keep moving. Remember this, success is not owned by the most talented people. Success belongs to the people who refuse to stop, the people who continue fighting long after motivation disappears, the people who turn pain into power and pressure into purpose. That can be you. Not next year, not someday, right now. So after this video ends, do not just feel inspired for a few minutes and then return to old habits. Take action, make the call, start the plan, wake up earlier, work harder, believe bigger, become more. Because years from now, you will either thank yourself for staying committed or regret that you never truly tried. And deep down, you already know which life you deserve. Now go become unstoppable.